episode 1 of the Duck Potter podcast. This is something that's been in the works for a very long time. My name is SENPIEMAN. I am joined, as usual, by Techsnologic.
Howdy doody.
Who's currently looking at Pokemon cards, and LancelotArcher.
Hello, people.
Don't judge me.
Right, okay. Like I said, this has been something that's been in the planning since the end of 2020, or probably the middle of 2020, but started gaining traction before the end of 2020 and never really took off. And somehow we're in the first week of March.
We are indeed.
Of 2021. Like next week, our country, the UK, has been in lockdown for a year and a bit. And that's really strange for me. I mean, it's not strange for Lance because Lance never leaves his house. But
Just another Wednesday.
it's another Wednesday. I need to make sure this podcast now comes out on a Wednesday, apparently. But it's just so weird. Yeah, we went into lockdown on March the 16th, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
We sort of came out and then went back in, and then sort of came out and then went back in again. But for the most part, yeah, it's been nearly a year.
Yeah, it has been. It's just one of those things.
How has this happened? How have the last 12 months been for you?
What day are we today? Friday. It's been another Friday. Honestly, the last like year has been. I mean, it's had its up and downs with everyone. And like for me, the last I think 2 years, anytime it's between like May to September, those months, those summer periods or the hot time of the year, they disappear. And I'm like, all right, it's rolling into the summer. What the hell? We're in October. What happened to all of the year? You know, it kind of just flies past. And I'm like, I don't understand what happened. How do we get to this stage already? And I'm like, oh, that's another year gone. What the hell happened? 2020 was kind of the same. I don't remember what happened in like May, June, July. Except for that I was sweaty because it was really hot that time. It was
very sweaty.
Yeah. It was, and then like we had some good games, we did some stuff. It was sort of like just thing flew past, and you know, that was really it. It was sort of like nothing had really changed, and people were still like, oh, what's up with the COVID and blah 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 blah. But you know,
it's around that sort of time that you have fasting as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, fasting is different every year because of obviously how it works, because it goes up the calendar every year by 10 days. So this year it's going to be hitting on in April, and I think it's going to be finishing beginning of May. It's essentially the time frame for sunrise to sunset is going to be smaller, so it's not really going to be it's never like fasting's never been an issue for me. I can handle it no matter what time of year it is, but obviously the benefits of fasting longer periods are there, but with the year slowly as it goes up the calendar, the time for fasting shrinks. So when it hits like December, it's kind of like, oh right, we'll fast for like 3 hours, but that's when sunrise or sunset pretty much is. So well, not literally 3 hours, but it's essentially kind of the same thing. But yeah, you know, that fasting will be rolling around this year for April for me.
Wow. Okay.
It's coming quick. That's for certain.
It is coming quick. Tex, you work in an office. How is lockdown and working in the office and working from home been going for you?
I work in an office? Since when? I haven't seen my office since the beginning of time. Thank you very much. I mean, it's not been too bad since Christmas. I've had to go in the office twice. I went in literally like on the Monday of just after Christmas. Just after New Year's. And my issue was that because we'd gone into the major lockdown again just after Christmas, was that because I have to get public transport and everything going into work, I essentially mentioned it to my managing director, essentially, of the whole company, that I really didn't want to be coming into the office and potentially putting my family at risk because of having to get public transport. It's either 2 or 3 buses every morning and then having to come back as well. I didn't want to put my family at risk of that. So essentially what they've done is they sent me back home and got a contract with one of their local taxi companies. So essentially I can call them up, get a taxi from home into the office, and then the company will pay for it. So that I'm minimizing my risk. I don't have to pay for that extra taxi because it's like £18 one way which is stupid amount of money. I wasn't going to be
That's
paying
ridiculous.
that. So they covered that, and I've essentially been working from home ever since. I've only ever had to go in once, literally just to make sure that some of the hardware was fixed. So I've not had much of an issue, other than obviously, kids have been home and all of that kind of stuff. But it's not been bad. I've been able to sit with my kids. I've been able to have cuddles off my little one whenever I really want to, or whenever she's at least willing to, anyway. Because we all know what little 5-year-olds are like.
Yeah.
So it's not been a terrible experience. It could have always been better, of course, but life is life. I mean, it's always nice finishing on at 4:30. I'll go out, do my shopping to Asda, real quick, come back, and then I can game.
Yeah, there's always that nice. It's not like finishing work at 4:30, traveling all the way home, sitting down, chilling out for a little bit, and then going out shopping. You can literally just finish work and then, chill out for a little bit and then go shopping, rather than having to deal with the 2 buses halfway across town.
Makes it a lot better for me.
I appreciate that.
Sorry, Pokemon cards again. I'm doing some major shopping at the moment when I really, really shouldn't be. I can't help it. There's new ones coming out apparently on the 19th, and I'm pre-ordering quite a few.
I've been very much out. I mean, like I play Pokemon Go, and that's about as far as my extent of knowledge of the whole Pokemon. I mean, like my knowledge of Pokemon extends only to the first 121, and I'm catching all of these other ones that I've never even fucking heard of them. They've got ridiculous names, and I don't get it. I still don't get it. I like playing it, but it doesn't have the same impact and effect on me that it did when I originally started playing it.
No, that's fair.
I don't know whether to be more offended. I don't know whether to be more offended by the fact that you're not into it as much as I am, or the fact that you said there's only 121 in the original games, not 151. Yeah, it was 151.
I may have missed 30 off.
Yeah, he's probably looked at them 30. Went, I've caught dupes of them. They don't matter. I don't want another Rattata or Pidgeotto.
Coughing, wheezing, they're both the same Pokemon. Who cares?
Oh, God. When Pokemon Go first came out, I had 130 billion Rattatas.
Oh, they were just... The spawn rate for them was...
catch.
Yeah, I know. Like, that's the crazy thing. The spawn rate for that thing was crazy. I'm like, oh, look, it's a new Pokemon. It's like a Rattata or a Pidgeotto or nothing. I was like... And then I get like a Nidoqueen. I'm like, oh, it's nothing new. Quick.
See, my issue with Pokemon Go was always the fact that you'd see people online that were finding like Blastoise, Venusaur, Charizard out in the wild. It's like, bitch, even to this point, I'm level 36. I have never seen one of those in the wild and available.
All right, so here's my take on that. When I was working in central London, I was working literally outside the Shard in central London. And I went on my lunch break, so I went out to get some food, had my phone out. I thought, look, so as I'm walking back, let me see what's around. And a friggin' Lapras pops up, and I'm like, oh, where is it? But back then, when a Pokemon like popped up and it was shaded, it was like 100 meters in any direction. I'm like, I can't do that now. So I'm like this going, oh fuck, which way do I turn? Left or right? And I was like, oh god damn it. And back then they would only spawn for like, what was it, 10 minutes? And then you had to find it within 10 minutes or something stupid like that. I was like, oh my god, I missed out on a Lapras of all things. I was like, stupid thing, flip the table, leave. And it was like, I hate this game. But I mean, I still remember one when I went out with like my brother and a friend. We went to this, I think it was a park around the corner from the hospital I was working at. And this was like a Snorlax spawn point. Like people would just go nuts for Snorlax, and people were getting Snorlaxes like left, right, and center. They're like, "Oh, Snorlax here, Snorlax." I finally get one, and I'm pretty sure the Snorlax I got was like the lowest CP and the smallest one out of the 100 people that were there. And I'm like, "I've got me a Snorlax." And I'm like, "Oh, he's pretty cute and he's really small." I'm like, "What do you mean small?" So just CP. I can't remember what his CP was, but I'm pretty sure his CP was like under 400. I'm like, "What is this?" Some dude at the other side goes, "Oh, I've got a Snorlax. He's got a CP of 2,500. I'm like, I don't understand. What does that even mean? How have I got one of 4?
The thing is, it's all
crazy.
it's level dependent. So the higher level you are as a trainer in the game, the higher max CP that you can get.
Really? I was
Yeah.
at,
So,
I
say
think
for
I was
example,
at,
if you're like a level 5 trainer, the max CP that you can go, even if you max out a Pokemon with Candy and stuff, is probably, I don't know, like 700 or something like that. But if you're at level 40, the max that you can go to is like, I don't know, 3,600, something like that. So
what? I think at the time when I was doing it, I was like 21, I think, when we did the Snorlax around there, and I was like, why is he at 400? And why is he
okay,
so
then yeah,
tiny?
that was a low one.
Yeah, I was like, this doesn't make. I was like, I'm pretty sure I was the guy who had like the weakest Snorlax there. I'm like, my Snorlax challenges you to lay there, and he wins.
I've just opened up the game for the first time today, and 3 eggs that I didn't even know I had incubating have just hatched.
Oh, really?
I got a weird version of Meowth. And a weird version of
that'll be the
Sandshrew.
Galarian version. Yep.
I like the weird version.
And
Like it's like some decrepit one's like meow.
It's it's like they look like the normal ones, but slightly more cartoonified. And what was the last one I got? I can't remember what the last one I just got. But yeah, no, that was really weird. But I don't get it. I don't get the different sort of like generations or anything like that. I'm an old fuddy-duddy. I'm a boomer when it comes to Pokemon.
Can confirm.
I'm a Pokemon boomer.
Pokemon boomer.
A Boomokemon?
That sounds really odd.
Just don't call him a Pokeboomer.
Oh,
it sounds way worse.
That sounds something completely different.
Yeah, like I've since lockdown started, I've enjoyed sort of like going around and like spinning Pokestops and whatever when I've been out walking. But yeah, like everything that I've been sort of catching recently has just been whilst I've been sat in the living room, not doing anything, just sort of looking at my phone.
Oh, okay.
See, I've just opened
Sort
it
of
up
like
myself.
you two are doing now.
Yeah.
I was actually looking to see like what was in there because I got there was like 3 boxes in the store, so I was like, oh, claim. So I'll take these 3 event boxes, and then they were like, oh, you can claim the 3 event box, but you already maxed out on the raid pass. I'm like, oh, should I delete some? I was like, I don't really use these raid passes. I haven't really played Pokemon Go seriously for a while. I only just like sign in to when people send me gifts. I'm like, there's a gift sent to you. I'm like, oh, sweet. What is it? And I'll take all the gifts.
I've got a Pokestop at the end of my road, so basically my buddy goes off and spins that for me, and I send whatever gifts I get from that off to whoever's been sending me gifts. But also at the same time, whenever I've been out, like if I've been driving, we've been going to the shop or whatever, I'll spin all the Pokestops.
Naughty.
What have you got?
No, I'm saying you naughty playing Pokemon while you're driving.
No, sorry, not while I've been driving, whilst we've been out driving. So whilst Alex, my partner, has been driving.
I mean, even says there's even a warning in the game.
Pokestops on our drive, I'll have my phone and I'll just like spin them as we drive past them.
Yeah.
On the occasion that it will let me do that, a lot of the times it doesn't register that I'm close enough.
Yeah, because you're driving too fast. You're over the speed limit.
No, because I've registered as a partner, as a passenger. It doesn't catch up fast enough.
No, it's literally got a limit. Even if you register as a passenger, it will still set you to a specific speed limit. If you're going too fast over that, it won't let you spin anything.
That's stupid. It's a stupid game. I'm uninstalling this app.
Because obviously, as I mentioned earlier, I have to get public transport whenever I'm on my way to work and everything. So whenever I'm on the bus and I'm not sleeping, I'll play this. But a lot of the time, I'm either too fast for the Pokestops, or by the time that the bus actually stops, I'm nowhere near one.
Oh,
yeah,
that's the worst.
Or I'll just be outside of range of one, which is the absolute worst.
It's been fun. It's been interesting. I mean, this mobile game's been around for what 5 years at this point. I think I registered for it in like August 2016.
Has it been that long already? Holy shit!
Yep,
okay,
5 years. 5 years in May.
God damn.
I mean, I got this on a weird download from when I had
Australia?
an Android phone. Like, I did have an app that rerouted my geolocation, so I do have a couple of Pokemon from Kyoto. I have a few from Sydney.
I have a few
despite
from
the fact that
Japan
I've
as
never
well,
actually,
but I was actually out there. So it's different.
I've never actually visited those countries.
I think I've still got a couple from New York, which I've never actually been to, but I at least have a couple from when I visited Texas, so that's something.
Yeah.
I've literally still got a Ponyta, which was the very first Pokemon I caught over there. Favorited. Weak as shit. It's a 1-star, but I'm keeping it purely for the fact it was the first one I caught while I was over there. So,
yeah, you got to. You have to.
Exactly. Do you think 120 pounds is enough to spend on Pokemon cards?
How much?
£120.
How many packs is that?
That is going to be 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, no, 15. And then 19, 23, 27 packs.
Are we talking like packs as in individual packs or boxes?
Individual packs.
I don't know. You could probably buy some boxes for probably about the same amount, right?
Game doesn't sell the boxes.
Well, call them up and be like, yo.
I'm sorry, is this something you just bought?
No, I'm considering it. It's in my basket.
Oh, okay. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Maybe I should close the tab, but I can't bring myself to do it.
Well, first, before you do that, pay for your goods.
Don't encourage him. I don't think he needs it right now.
Oh, I don't need it. I just want it. Because the thing is, what I've seen a lot of people doing on streams and everything now is like opening so many packs, getting all the actual good rares and everything, getting them graded, and then essentially selling them off.
Yeah.
Because you can send them off to these grading sites and everything. And if you get like a grade 10, which is like the highest grading that you can get, you can sell it for a very good amount of money.
What are we talking here? Like good few hundred, like 700.
Depending on which Pokemon it is, but yeah, I mean several £100.
Wow.
I mean, if I have a look on eBay at the moment, and if I search for that shiny black Charizard, then let's see how much they're going for. I'm literally just searching up shiny black Charizard. Okay, so grade 10. Shiny black Charizard. Have a wild guess.
On eBay?
£35.
Mm-hmm.
35.
How much?
£35 plus some Australian dollars. I'm probably going to say 800.
A little bit more.
850.
A little bit more.
870.
Nah, 950.
950. Oh,
950.
wow. Okay.
What?
Minimum. There is only 2 of them on there. One is at 950. The other is at 1,300.
Damn, son.
And that's the highest graded shiny black Charizard at the moment.
It's time for you to sell your Gundam kits, man, and your kidney.
But you see what I mean? You could pull something like that. You send it off to get graded, and if it comes back at like the top tier level 10 grading, you are fucking rich.
That's
imagine
ridiculous.
when that guy pulls multiple in one pack. You'd be like, what the hell?
Well, the thing is, I was watching a video on YouTube the other day of Big Jiggly Panda. I think you've probably heard of him, Lance. Okay. He plays with Marcel quite often on some games.
Oh,
okay. One of them lot. But he did a video of opening Pokemon cards the other day. And he got an error pack where he ended up pulling 14 cards out. He ended up with 4 rares. Normally you only get 1, maybe 2 at most. But he got an extra 3 cards, and 2 of them were extra rares.
What was the Pokemon on the card?
No, it wasn't the super rare stuff, but it was just the fact that he pulled an extra, an extra 2 rare cards.
Damn. Some kids probably like, oh, where are my rares? They're like, sorry, kid, the other guy got him. Streamer loot.
So yeah, I mean, some of these old cards as well are going on sale now as well. I mean, someone's got on here an old Hollow Clefairy card for £12.50.
£12.50. Okay.
Yep.
That's more in my price range.
But it's just silly little cards like that could sell. I mean, I've got literally at least 2 shinies in these packs of cards that I mentioned earlier that are worth like anywhere between £15 to £30, depending on where I sold them. Not graded or anything, obviously, but it's always an option. That's why a lot of people are saying, oh, it's an investment, because technically it is. You could spend, as I mentioned earlier, I could buy like £120 worth of cards, but I might end up being able to sell them at like £400 because of the cards that I pull.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true. I mean, that's one hell of an investment. I mean, it's like you doing what DJ does for cigars. That's there.
Yeah. It's just a massive gamble. It's IRL loot boxes.
Yeah, which is probably why it was probably a good thing that I will never do it, because my RNG sucks no matter where I go. So.
It's IRL CS:GO skins.
Oh my god!
You buy the boxes, you get the skins, you sell the skins.
Oh word!
How is Genshin Impact for you?
You know what? Weird enough, that's something that I've been like outside of Destiny. Genshin Impact has been that one game that myself and Phenom have been like playing every day, because we've been grinding to get the materials we need for characters to level. So we're slowly building our squads out of like who we need for certain events and so forth. And the current banner for Genshin Impact is a character by the name of Hu Tao. She's a She's a funeral parlor director or something like that. So she deals with like ghosts and stuff. But she's a flame.
I've seen that new waifu.
She's a flame spear user. And the funny thing is, though, at the same time her character banner's up, there's a weapon banner up with her spear in it. But the kicker was, apparently there's a huge Genshin Impact partner streamer by the name of Tecto. He spent, get this, $2,500 and then got the spear. The first spear.
What?
The one. $2,500 and he got one spear. And he went nuts over it. But then, you know, he's a Genshin Impact partner streamer. He earns a ton of money from YouTube and Twitch anyway. So, like, granted, he spent $2,500. But at the same time, it's like, that's crazy. That weapon banner is bugged to all heaven. And it's like, you don't even give you a proper decent drop rate at the 5 stars. But I have been playing, like, there's been one new character that came out from the last event, which was for the Chinese New Year event. Which that event was actually a lot of fun. But there's a thing you can do where you could have done this like tower defense thing, which is really, really fun. Your character doesn't actually do any like killing of ads. You have to set.
You've told me about this, yeah.
Yeah, you have to set turrets up in accordance to the elements to stop ads coming through on different waves. And every wave you complete, you get more points to put more down. But you're limited to 14, 15, depending if the next round allows you to add an extra one and so forth. But it was a lot of fun. Like Phenom and I were doing it. It was actually quite fun. It was very entertaining watching you do the combos and see how you can solo farm it and speedrun and so forth. It was very entertaining. But the character they gave in that one is a character by the name of Zhao, and he had a weapon banner which had a weapon which was purely meant for him. I got both,
right,
which I was quite lucky with, and I've been loving playing that character ever since. And as such, now we've just been working towards getting characters leveled up. But yeah, it's good. I've been enjoying Genshin. It's actually one of those games. I know it's kind of tailed off from the hype it had towards the end of last year, but it's still a fun game for me. I was a bit annoyed because the 2 characters I really wanted, which were Gunyu and Klee, I never got, and I was really trying for Gunyu, but never got it to drop. And I was like,
yeah.
Very upset.
I remember everyone were mad when Klee started dropping for people. I haven't played since like the first arc.
Yeah,
it's one of those games that has stayed still installed. I've just never gone back to it, and I think I really need to.
It's fun. The stories are actually quite good. Like
I know it's fun, but
yeah,
being unemployed, I started putting a little bit too much money into it than I should have.
Oh,
for the gachas.
Yeah, for the gachas. I held back on that.
So I stopped.
No, that's understandable. Like that's the problem with Genshin Impact. It's like you to earn enough Prima Gems to make a wish, you have to do at least 2 days worth of grinding to get enough wishes to get 160 Prima Gems to make a wish. I mean, if you've got the blessing, that's 90 plus the 4 dailies. It's essentially about you getting 130, and then you still need to do extra to get the 160. So that is, like I said, 2 days worth of grinding. But the thing is, though, they like myself and Phenom, we were discussing with everything that's going on right now. It's the Prima Gems. There aren't enough for you to get. Your Risen, which is one thing that allowed you to go farm for like character books and everything like that. that's too low. There's not enough. They don't give you any way to kind of refill it. And then when you do use a risen, like, or your free risen, they give you a day, your daily risen. You can use it towards condensed risen, which allows you to get more rewards. It's like a buff on rewards and so forth.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where they're not doing enough to give you more primer gems. The cost of a wish is too high. It should be like 100 primer gems a wish, because it's like you're people can do a 10 stack pull and you're guaranteed a 4-star, and if you're really lucky, you'll get a 5-star. Or if you're like me, you'll get a 5-star, which you're already friggin' C6. And I'm like, why? I think at this point now, I think it's 3 or 4 characters C6, like completely constellation up maxed. And I get Xiangling, the fire spear wielder from the very, very beginning, and Fischl constantly see like in my drops now. And I'm like, you need to do like MiHoYo, you need to do something where if someone's already fully constellationed up a character, you need to not have them be able to be pulled again. It's just ridiculous because it's a waste of a wish. And it's like I've had now, I think Xiangling and Fischl, I think past after C6 in them at least 6 times now each.
Wow.
And I'm like,
what was the ones I got Xiangling once and I got Fischl once. I got what was his name? Ice Boy.
Chongyun.
Chongyun. I got so much of him, and I got so much of Barbara as well. But Chongyun, I was sort of like looking at him as like, and there was a couple of other ones like I could start building up my sort of like my anime twink army.
Yeah.
But do I have the time, and should I really be pumping that sort of money into this?
You can actually do that. The thing is that I think if you come back now, they're doing their daily logins on the MiHoYo website, where after 7 days you get 20 Prima gems. After I think another 7 days, I think it goes up to like 50, and I think by the end of the month, it's 200 Prima gems they give you. So essentially, it's like enough for you to at least do 2 or 3 pulls on a wish. But obviously, if you're doing the blessing plus your dailies from the adventure handbook, and then you explore the world and do other like missions and stuff like that, they'll give you some. But it is a slogfest to even do a 10 pull, and because they constantly keep putting up weapon banners. I say weapon banners, like character banners, the 5 stars and the weapon banners and stuff that goes with them. You're kind of like, I don't have enough wishes to do a full 10. And then sometimes everyone has to grind to get their soft mercy pull, or sometimes you just get the flat out mercy drop and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. It's one of those things I wish when I was trying to pull Klee and Gunn I wish I'd actually managed to get them when I did. But then there were certain characters I got and went, I really didn't need to grab you, but I'm glad I've got you. But at the same time, you're not who I was really after type situation. Like this particular one now for Hu Tao, normally I'm the type of guy who would be like, I want to collect all the characters and collect everything that's possible in the game. I don't really feel like I need this new character at all, because I don't really use flame spear users that much, because I've now got, what was her name? I think it's Xinyan, who is the new rock fire claymore user. She's like the female version of Diluc. So I've got her, but I haven't leveled her up. But yeah, like I see Phenom using Diluc, and I'm like, dude, I've been wanting Diluc since the start of the game, because I knew how OP that dude was. Still haven't got him to drop. I got Gene, which Phenom wasn't happy with, but he was like, but then at the same time, there's apparently rumor of a Gene 5-star banner coming, I think within the next month. And they dropped the new 1.3 or 1.4 update. The new update, I think it's 1.4 update, goes live tomorrow after their stream. They got a special stream up tomorrow. On the, I think it's, I forgot where they're streaming. It might be on the Twitch or it might be on YouTube or somewhere, but they're essentially doing a live stream. They've got the voice actress for Gene and Venti coming in to talk about the new update, and there's also talk of the Gene banner coming up as well. So I was like, Phenom's gonna like spank money on that. I can guarantee you that, because he wants her so badly. But yeah, it's just they drop the character banners too much, and then they put certain characters in those banners way too often. Like Xiangling has been in the character banners for the last, I think, four runs, and I'm like, why are you always in this banner? Officials in it at one time. I'm like, please, just anyone else but Xiangling official. But yeah, like Genshin Impact, I've been enjoying that. It's quite good with the story and so forth, and it's been very, very entertaining.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's one of those that I've not come to uninstall yet, but I have stopped playing. I can't even remember the last time I played it. I think it was around just before, like, I think it was just before Christmas 2020.
Okay, that's what, 3 months ago. That's not too long ago.
Yeah, I think it was around then. I think it was just around the time. Yeah, it was just around the time that Alex broke his arm.
Ah, okay.
I was sort of hovering between games. Like I'd set up my own little Minecraft thing, so I was playing Minecraft on my own. We also started playing Tinkertown, which I sort of did a little bit on my own as well. And I also had I did a couple of daily things on Genshin.
Yeah.
Around then, I think that's when I stopped playing it.
Tinkertown, that was a game I really wish we could have played more on, but I just could not get that game to work. Could not get it to work.
They released a patch this week that has fixed multiplayer, hopefully.
Wait, didn't Tinkertown come out in November, right? Or December? November?
It's still in early access. Access, but they've actually properly fixed multiplayer for it now.
Well, I hope so. I mean, I from the little bit that we played when, Tex managed to get us a code and so forth, and we had the developers watching and so forth, it was fun. I enjoyed the little time we had. I struggled to really just connect and play on it. I don't know what it was. Like, we tried a few things, which I finally got on eventually, but it was like, it would be nice if I didn't have to be like, Tex, the game is busted. Fix it. Here's my team viewer code. Do what you need to do. But yeah, it was yeah. Those are.
I think it's kind of like Valheim meets Minecraft meets everything. It's that sort of same sort of genre, but it amalgamates.
Yeah. See, it was the graphical style that pulled me into it. The top down, 2D graphics.
It looks a lot like sort of I mentioned this to one of the devs.
Octopath Traveler, but 2D?
Forager. It looks a lot like Forager.
Oh, I like Forager. Forager was a good game. I had a lot of fun on that game.
They're still releasing updates for that game as well.
Really? What's left to do on it?
Oh, there's loads. They've proper Stardewed it.
No way. Speaking of funny enough of Stardew, I actually want to go back and play the new map because I want to try it out because I've seen how it is and I'm like, oh, this would be fun. I'm definitely intrigued by it.
I started a Stardew map with one of my real life friends, Katie, who's just started streaming as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of want to delve back into it as well.
I was actually watching you stream with her, and the funny thing was that you said the one line that made me crack up, considering how many times you played this game. I don't know what I'm doing in this game.
No,
and I was like,
honestly, honest to God, don't. I've never done a solo run on my own beyond like a certain point. I've never done a multiplayer run on my own or with friends beyond a certain point. So
yeah, I was about to say you did one with me and Diz at the start. We did one like I've done a couple of multiplayer.
Yeah, but I
runs.
only ever got up to a certain point.
Yeah.
I got to like level 10 on the mines, and that was about it.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to join me, you're more than welcome to. But it's just one of those things where I was like, I love Stardew. It's a really, really good game, but it's when you get like it's when last time I did a run was with Diz when we did the multiplayer. One of the last what was it? The last updated map they dropped, and it was like I think after we completed the community base and did the what did we do after that? We did the community center, and we did by the end of year 3, you need to do the thing with the candles and the grandfather's approval. Diz was like, yeah, I'm done. I've got nothing else to do. I've married, who's he married? Penny? I think Leia. He married Leia and kept throwing salad in her face. And I was like, dude. And then obviously that was the birth of BPD.
Good old butt plug Doug.
Butt plug Doug, yeah. Still one of his like funniest clips we've got from him, but yeah. Oh, that was the days. But yeah, the fact Stardew announced that, what was it, back in January?
Something like that.
Yeah, I was surprised that they had announced that, but I was like really happy they did. So I'm looking forward to going back and giving it a go. Very much so.
Yeah, it'd be good to dive into. Have you Are you all caught up on? I mean, okay. So, spoiler alert: we are recording this on the 5th of March, 2021. This morning, the season finale for WandaVision dropped.
Yep,
Are we all caught up?
We are
We're all
indeed.
caught up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, WandaVision are breaking up?
They are, unfortunately, dude.
WandaVision.
Yeah, WandaVision have broken up. They've confirmed no season 2 due to the ratings. No, I'm just kidding. Social media was not happy.
They've been recast by Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What do you think of the series? The season? Series? Season.
Series.
What do you think of the
season? Yeah. I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. I was so when they first announced obviously WandaVision, they were like, "Oh, look, it's a sitcom back in the 50s." I was like, "Huh? What's this about? Like, how is that going to work?" And I was like, "What's she going to do? Bring him back to life, or this is going to be in the weird thing pre-Civil War? What is this?" The series as a whole for 9 episodes, I thought was very well written and very well done. I thoroughly enjoyed, but it was the way they did. Like the first 3 episodes, I was like, "Oh, let's do the sitcom thing," and then but through each episode, there was always something that was linking it, and then gave you a glimpse of something else that was happening. And I was like, "Oh, this was done so well." I really enjoyed it, especially with how that you saw her powers grow, and then obviously the backstory behind how they got to where they were. And I like the fact they brought characters from like other Marvel like films. Like you had
Kat Dennings,
yeah, the Thor stuff, and then you had was it Jimmy, the FBI
Jimmy
from
Woo,
Ant-Man,
yeah,
from Ant-Man 2.
Yep,
him coming in was great. And then you've got Rambo, Captain Monica
Rambo, yeah,
Monica Rambo. The Rambo's a call sign, isn't it? Was it actually her surname?
I think it's actually her surname. I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, they brought her in, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't remember you. But her character is obviously from Captain Marvel, but they've just obviously
when she was a kid,
she was a kid, they've just aged her. And then they referenced the snap or the click or the whatever they
snap,
whatever they call it as now. That's a clap, but sure.
Senpai's got the clap confirmed.
They referenced the clap. But no, I just like the way. That's one of the things I've always admired about the Marvel Disney they've always handled. This is like they take great care and pains to make sure that it's interweaved in a way that people go, aha, I see where they're going with this, or they're like, oh crap, remember this, and it's like they've brought something up and they've answered a question on it, and people are like, I wonder what happened with this. Here's the answer you've been looking for from since like Thor: Dark World, and you're like, oh really? Type situation. So
that's what I was saying to you as well, but about Legends, like Marvel Legends, they're doing little like 20-minute snippets of all of the MCU stuff that pertains to that particular character. So like all the stuff that's coming up with like with the Winter Soldier and with Falcon. Yeah, they've given you like a 20-minute episode of like, this is what happened with the Falcon throughout this, so his sort of like his backstory and everything like that. They're doing the same thing for Winter Soldier, and
that's all on Disney Plus, right? Are they showing it?
It's all on Disney Plus at the moment. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, the finale for WandaVision was great.
It was really good. The episode before last, I kind of felt like it was a good sort of plot builder, but not so much plot builder. It was a character builder that sort of had like plotty elements to it, but it felt more fillery.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see it with the way. Do you know what I also noticed was, I don't know if it was maybe it was just me, but from episode 1 up until the finale, each of the episodes was getting longer by a couple of minutes each week.
Yeah.
I was like, they're getting longer. I was like, what's this about? And I was like, oh, wait a minute.
And that's not the 15-minute credit roll.
Yeah, that's not exactly.
But what I really enjoyed about it is like I'm like Wanda, I'm a massive sitcom fan. So like I grew up watching things like I Dream of Jeannie, I like Happy Days. I grew up like all of those sort of like 50s, 60s up to current, like the openers for each episode, the decades that they were linked to. The Malcolm in the Middle one had me.
Yeah, mate.
That was hilarious.
Brilliant.
I was dying at that opening because Malcolm in the Middle is one of my all-time favorite sitcoms, and to get the reference to that, I had the Malcolm in the Middle opening playing in my head at the same time, and it was literally frame for frame, basically the exact same. And I loved it.
Like the following one, you could tell was Modern Family, but that's sort of it's one of those recognizable, but it's one that I've never sort of watched. But yeah, the Malcolm in the Middle one was the winner for me.
That was great. I thought it was really. I've loved how they've done each of those episodes. Like, I don't know who the writer was or who the directors were for that show or who oversaw it, but the fact they've made each episode work the way they've done, I thought it was great. Like they've really done well to do them the way they. And I have to admit, Paul Bettany reprising his role of the Vision, and then like switching out from being Paul Bettany or Vision the human to Vision the superhero. The transitions were great. All of them were just good, and he had some really great moments in it.
Yeah, he really did. He played them very well. I mean, yeah, he's always going to be Jarvis for me.
Oh yeah, I think for all of us it's the same thing.
But the way that he's sort of like towards the end of the cinematic universe into WandaVision, which is where his I feel like his character's more sort of developed.
Yeah.
Without giving too much away, but one of his characters has developed.
The other one has receded back.
He's done really, really well with that.
Yeah. So here's the thing. This isn't a spoiler, but obviously I think most people knew that when this finished, this was going to kind of dovetail off into Doctor Strange. I think a lot of people kind of had that assumption, knew it was going to. That was kind of where it was going next.
As far as my knowledge goes, it was confirmed because it was already announced that Wanda was going to be in the next. That
was her next role in the film.
That's exactly.
Going to be in. So a lot of people already made that connection. They were like, "Oh, when we're next going to see Wanda?" And then obviously after how the finale went for today, it's kind of like, okay, so potentially we're not seeing it till then. But the funny thing was though, there was an event that was held, and I forgot where this was. Phenon told me this. There's like a press junket thing that's held, and it's sort of like a closed event. But Disney were there. No. This is another thing. D23 is not till later in the year. I think it's like May time. It's a little bit later on.
Something like that, yeah.
But this was sort of like a closed one. But they invite press to a closed area, to a closed event, and Disney were there with Marvel and so forth, and they were talking about potentially what's going to happen with the shows. And this was like obviously with WandaVision closing in on its finale, will we see a season 2? And the representative said with the way things are going right now, WandaVision season 2 isn't on the books or in the foreseeable future, because obviously the next time she will be seen is obviously with Doctor Strange and their collaboration on the film. But the thing is, they're right now planning Falcon and the Winter Soldier season 2, and I was like, ooh, yeah. I was like, that's interesting, because I was like, I'm looking forward very much to the whole Winter Soldier Falcon thing. Because they're from the same, they're from that same arc storyline with Cap, and Cap has always been my favorite character in the MCU because I've loved how Chris Evans portrayed him and how he kept it going. You saw the growth of the character and so forth. So seeing Falcon and Bucky going in this, I think it's 9 episodes for them as well. Is going to be interesting. But the trailers I've seen of everything leading up to it, it's kept me gripping for more. I'm like, oh, this is good. It's like, it's a teaser, Lance. It's a teaser, Lance. It's a teaser, Lance. I'm like, feed me more type thing. I'm like, oh, this is good.
It's very much been like that.
Yeah. And the funny thing is though, there was parts in the trailer that I was watching, and I was like, holy crap, Agent 13's in. Is it Agent 13? Yeah, Agent 13's in there. Sharon Carter, she's turned up, and I'm like, because the last time you saw her was in a Civil War, and she was like, here's the suit back after she leaves him. She gives him the car, and it's in the trunk. And then she kisses like Steve and then disappears, and that's all you've seen of her. You don't see her anytime after that. And then Zemo's in it as well. He makes a resurgence in the series, and I'm like, oh, I'm glad he's back, because obviously the last thing you saw was Black Panther taking him in before he freaking like suicides himself. And I was like, sweet, we get to see what happens there. Oh no, that's not true. You see him in the prison container that like Winter Soldier's in. That was the last time you saw him. But yeah, it's like they're bringing back characters where I was kind of like, oh, that's good that they've recycled him back in and not been like, yo, remember that throwaway villain we had back in Civil War? Yeah, we've got someone else now instead, you know. So I like that. So it's good that they've done that. But what other shows did they say they were bringing? Those were the two. Loki. That's it. Loki.
Loki's getting one.
Loki's after Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
But that's not.
I think that's in May.
Summer, right?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier's within the next
2 weeks,
4 weeks,
March 19th.
2 to 4 weeks.
March 19th.
Yeah, I've literally got it on a page now. The first episode is March 19th. It's going to be 6 episodes.
I saw it was 8. I've read somewhere.
How long's each episode?
Probably about.
I don't know. It doesn't say. So it,
Okay.
according to what I've got here, which is on GameSpot. So I'm taking it on good authority.
Yeah.
We've got episode 1 on March 19th, and it'll run up to episode 6, which will be on April 23rd.
Okay.
Okay.
I've seen it. I've seen a site, and it was like it's 8 episodes planned, and it's running into end of April, beginning of June. No, end of April, beginning of May. Sorry. So Loki, I'm pretty sure Loki's not till like later in the year though.
June 11th.
Loki,
Yep.
which
June
means
11th.
if we're taking on the fact they do a 2-week break
Is
between
that
series.
with Tom Hiddleston?
Yeah, he's actually
Okay,
reprised
good.
the role as Loki, but it's also got I want to say it's Owen Wilson, not Luke Wilson, right? In the trailer, I think it's Owen Wilson's in the trailer as the
don't know. I haven't seen it.
There's a trailer up. If you can find the trailer, give it a watch. Because I'm pretty sure it's Owen Wilson who's the supervisor for
Wow.
Loki. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that guy.
Wow.
Wow.
But he's I was surprised he was in it. But it's weird, that thing that Marvel do where you'll be like, oh my god, how did they get Owen Wilson to do this? And obviously Owen Wilson's famed for being like a huge A star or A-lister Hollywood comedic star, and it's like he's now doing something for Marvel. It's like if you get called in for something Marvel, you're like, you've made it, sir or madam, depending on how you are. But yeah, that you do anything Marvel related, you've made it big time in there.
You're in the universe. That's it.
Yeah. And also there was that talk of oh god, what was it? Jessica Jones and Daredevil are coming back to Disney
Marvel
Plus.
now has the rights back from Netflix.
Yeah, they got them back, isn't it?
Ooh.
But here's
I
the
really
thing.
enjoy Jessica Jones.
I like
I never
Daredevil.
finished it.
I never watched Jessica Jones. A lot of people got mad.
I think I did the first series. I think I did the first series. That was about it.
Yeah, but I think that's the first series is like the one you're meant to watch because it's the one with Tennant in it, right? David Tennant's in it, and so forth.
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, I heard that that was like the best one of all the seasons of those of the out. What were they called again? Outsiders. What were they called again?
I want to say that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, the Defenders.
So it was that and
Yes, the Defenders.
Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Luke Cage was and Iron Fist.
Iron
Yeah.
Iron Fist was terrible. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
Punisher.
David Tennant was. Oh, yeah, I vaguely remember being in that.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
I
was.
remember-
He was the bad guy in it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Punisher was good. I like the Punisher. Like John Burton
Never
as
watched
Punisher was
Punisher.
really good. Sorry.
Never watched it.
Oh, it was really good. It was really
literally
good.
the only one I've watched out of any of those was I think up to episode 10 of Jessica Jones, and I haven't watched any others. I think I watched the first episode of Daredevil and nothing else. So
Here's the thing: Daredevil, I absolutely loved because there is there's a scene in episode 2 where they pay homage to Old Boy. So I don't know if you've seen Old Boy, but there's that famous scene in Old Boy where you've got the main character in Old Boy literally, and it's just a long, wide panel shot of him beating dudes down this long hallway before he gets to the end of the fight. And it's literally one shot of him going through dudes for the fight. In Daredevil, there's a homage scene to that fight where Matt Murdock, and he's not in the suit, he's just in like the black balaclava and like the combat stuff, and he goes to town on these dudes, and he's like literally and you see there's one part, and he's in the fight, he's like up against the wall, breathing heavy, and the dude's like going to swing, and he just trips over, but he just manages to hit him with a move, and it's like well choreographed and everything about it. Out of all of the shows that they did prior to Defenders, I had the biggest issue was with Iron Fist. I absolutely hated that show. Hated that run. Got to season 2 and I was like, this is trash. What are they doing? Like, it does for a guy who was supposed to be like their version of Batman, because of his backstory is quite literally a Batman backstory. Like parents get killed, he ends up training to be he ends up becoming a candidate to become the Iron Fist, and then comes back to right the wrongs and take back his family company. I'm like, Batman. You're Batman.
but worse.
But really worse, because for a guy who's apparently supposed to have studied martial arts, when he did the topless scene for him doing the fight, I'm like, dude, eat a sandwich. You have no muscle, like nothing. It was like, oh my god, dude, it was horrendous. It was like, if you're a guy who's learned martial arts, you're meant to have at least the figure of a martial artist who's trained. He quite literally looked like one of those skinny boy models, and I'm like, eat a sandwich, bro. Seriously, nothing's on you. It was just bad. And then when they rolled into season 2, it got even worse. I'm like, no, this is just horrendous, absolutely horrendous.
There was a Daredevil that I watched when I was a kid.
The animated series?
Oh, it was a live action.
Yeah,
Hang on, I'm
the
just looking for
Ben
it.
Affleck one.
Nope.
Yeah, because they did the movie
Like,
for it,
when
didn't they?
when
Or
I was
two.
a kid, like I was like knee high.
I don't remember anything before the Ben Affleck one.
There
I
was
remember.
there was a Daredevil that I used to watch, and I'm looking it up on IMDb, and it's not here.
I remember. Obviously, there
I
was the
think he's dreamt
Daredevil.
it.
The Daredevil that was in the Spider-Man '90s
Yeah,
one.
I
and I know
remember.
there was
I remember that one
there was
quite
a
a lot.
segment in that. That's a great Spider-Man animated series. I
Yes.
don't think anything can top that. What else? Was there a Daredevil before that? I remember there was the Hulk live action TV series, but that was like obviously rolling into the late '70s, early '80s.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there was a live action Thor that got kind of like a crossover of Hulk, which is really, really funny.
The
So I was
super
like,
cheesy one.
yeah, the really super cheesy one. I remember there was a Flash movie. Well, they've kind of the funny thing is though, the way they've introduced that Flash movie into the Berlanti DC universe was really well because essentially they've made that Flash gone now, like he doesn't exist anymore, but they've essentially killed him off because of the whole Infinite Crisis storyline. But I like how they tied them in though. It was really, really great how they did it. I think
Speak.
yeah, go on.
I was going to mention something completely different, but speaking of old live action superhero stuff, please tell me that I am not the only person that saw the Japanese live action Spider-Man movie.
No, you're not. I saw it as well.
Okay, good. Mate, I swear to God, somewhere in my parents' house, I still have the VHS for that because I absolutely loved it. It was cheesy as all hell, and I loved it to bits as a kid.
I remember watching it, but this was on a time when I was quite young, and this is when Channel 4 used to do like the Godzilla movies super late at night. They were like 3 a.m. type late at night, and I remember because they had the Spider-Man movie. I think for that week there was no Godzilla movie, and I stayed up and I was like, "Where's the Godzilla movie?" And the Spider-Man movie was on from Japan, and I was like, "What Spider-Man is this?" And the way he was web shooting,
yeah.
Oh my God, it was so.
There was
bad.
no actual swinging. He would just like get the get the web and then just pull, and that was it. There was no swinging or anything. It was so bad, but so brilliant.
It was so fun. I just love to think, how did that theme tune go again? Oh God. Because I remember sitting there and I was like, this is really weird. And I must have been in a complete daze. It was like, this is actually quite funny, but oh my God, that was crazy, that Spider-Man film. Oh my God.
See, it wasn't up until about probably 4 or 5 years ago that I had seen absolutely zero mention of this movie online whatsoever. So I constantly thought that I had just dreamt up this Japanese shitty 90s Spider-Man live action movie. And I then saw something about it a few years back and I was like, no, yes, I didn't dream it. I didn't dream it.
It wasn't a dream.
Can you imagine if you were taking it in a completely different point of view? So imagine you were like, I keep having this, and you were like, I'm gonna pen a Japanese Spider-Man movie, and you walk into an office, and someone's like, guys, I'm gonna paint you a picture. Hear me out. Imagine Spider-Man International. He goes to Japan, and everyone's like, wait a minute. You give them the synopsis. You give them the synopsis for the actual Spider-Man Japanese movie, and everyone's like, hold up, we've done this. You're like, no. I literally just thought of this.
Turns out it wasn't actually a movie. It was a TV series, apparently. I'm just Googling it now.
Was it a series? It might have been like a feature length thing, because I remember it being very late on that Channel 4 when it was with the Godzilla thing. It could have been like multiple episodes showing back to back. So, and I may have thought it was a movie, but man, it felt like a movie. Jesus.
Yeah, I could swear they did a movie on it, but apparently it was done by Toei.
That doesn't surprise me. It's Japan, dude. Toei would have Japan in anything. I mean, think of the Godzilla stuff. I think who's it that's doing it this time? Who did the last one? The Shin Godzilla. That wasn't Toei. That was someone else. Oh, I forgot.
I have no idea. I'm not big on. I'm not big on Godzilla stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of though, the Godzilla versus Kong trailer looked pretty dope.
Haven't seen it.
Oh, dude!
I still haven't seen Godzilla 2. The only reason I actually watched the later version of Godzilla, the one that came out like 2018, I think, something like that, was because I was literally on a plane, I think, to Japan at the time, and I watched it on the plane.
Oh yeah, no, that's fair enough.
And that's the only time I've watched it.
I've enjoyed the new Godzilla ones. They've been like obviously the live action Hollywood ones. There's been like the CG animated ones on Netflix. There was a Shin Godzilla one, which I'm not gonna lie, that Godzilla movie made no sense because in it Godzilla was a spine with eyeballs until the very end of the movie. I was like, I'm so confused. Where's Godzilla? No joke, Senpai, right? Seriously, the Shin Godzilla movie, you don't actually see a fully fledged Godzilla actual like fleshed out until like the last 20 minutes of the film because there's a part of it where Godzilla is quite literally eyeballs and spine. And I'm like, this is so weird. What is this? But I'm like, it's Japanese Godzilla. I grew up watching it, so I should kind of expect it. But the new one, which is Godzilla versus King Kong, is supposed to be the end of their Monster Universe trilogy, whatever it is. I think that's what they've called it, the Monster Cinematic Universe. That's supposed to be their one, but apparently there's like people have picked apart that trailer to like nowhere, and they're like, Mecha Godzilla's in it, this is in it, this is in it, this is in it. I'm like, what is happening in this movie type situation? But I'm still gonna go see it. I love the new ones and they've done quite well.
See, I'm still hoping to this day, and I'm highly doubting it would, but I'm really, really hoping that they're going to bring in and mix it in with Pacific Rim.
Oh, the kaiju. Speaking of Pacific Rim,
no.
Obviously
Yes,
they can't do that.
do it.
But it would be quite what Godzilla versus Gypsy Daisy, or is it Gypsy? What was that one called again? Gypsy Danger? Whatever the one from the first one was called, whatever that mecha was, just rolling in and he just goes to punch Godzilla and he just blasts him in the face. I'm like, well, that's the end of the story. But that being said, though, on Netflix this week they just dropped that Pacific Rim animated series.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh,
it's like 7 episodes long, and it's like they dropped it. I want to say yesterday, but it was essentially this week. It's gone live on Netflix.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to give that a watch. It looks quite good. I'm always a huge fan of giant mecha and so forth. So
exactly.
Give that a watch.
Looking at Senpai's face, I've got the very, very slight inkling he doesn't like Pacific Rim for some reason.
I watched the first movie, and that was about it.
That's all I've seen of it, but I don't care.
That's okay. All I know from it was Charlie Hunnam was in it, and all I know Charlie Hunnam was from Sons of Anarchy and Queer as Folk, and that's about it. That's all I know of Pacific Rim.
Well, essentially, I mean, I can tell you what it's about and how it came to be, but I
didn't realize it was going to be a whole thing when I first saw the film.
Yeah,
like all I knew was Charlie Hunnam was in it, and I kind of liked him at the time. Like he'd just come out of Sons of Anarchy.
Yep.
And that was it. I thought, okay, fuck it, I'll watch it if he's in it. I didn't realize it was going to go on to become this whole anthology.
Yeah, it's just because of like the genre it's based in. It's like literally giant robots, monsters, put them together, monster mash is what essentially you've got. But yeah, it's. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like Pacific Rim 2. I thought that was absolutely atrocious. I was like, really? The guy from Star Wars is in this?
See, I enjoyed it purely because it was a stupid monster
he was
movie.
In it either.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it because it was still like mecha versus monster, but I was still like, really, okay, it's fine, and I'm intrigued to see how this new one's gonna go. But yeah, Pacific Rim. I just like the fact it was it Del Toro?
Benicio?
Yeah, it was Del Toro.
The director. It was his. But he's a huge fan of that, like the giant mecha series and the kaiju stories from Japan. So when he was given the chance to do Pacific Rim, he was like, Hollywood, I have an idea for you. Slide it on the desk. They were like, we love you. They were like, oh wait a minute. It's like, you did Pan's Labyrinth. Make this movie. And it was like, sure.
He does do very good monster movies.
Oh, he does. Do you know? Speaking of films and stuff, the trailers we would mention earlier. Did anyone see the Mortal Kombat one?
No, I haven't actually.
Not yet.
Oh my god, that's so good. That trailer.
All of the old ones have popped up on Prime for me to watch.
Yeah,
but I haven't seen the trailer for the new one yet.
If you get a chance, check out the new trailer because for some bizarre reason, someone was like, "Let's compare the 1995 Mortal Kombat trailer to the new 2021 trailer." I'm like, "Why? That makes no sense."
Would you do that?
They're completely separate movies.
Yeah, the thing is, like, it's completely separate movies.
That's like comparing PJ and Duncan to BTS.
Oh my god!
No,
I mean, to be fair,
take that and BTS.
I was gonna say, to be fair, "Let's Get Ready to Rumble" is still a pretty decent song. Oh my god!
Don't cross the streams, man.
Yeah, it's crazy that people are doing like these weird comparisons. But the thing is, though, the new Mortal Kombat trailer is like proper dark and gritty, and it's really, really good. One of the first opening scenes in the trailer is you see Jax. I don't even remember who Jax is. The guy with the metal arms.
Yeah.
All right, so he meets Sub-Zero and he's holding a shotgun. He turns and he sees Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero grabs his pump action shotgun by the nozzle, by the front of the barrel, and he shoots at his hand. But what you don't see is that the minute he's pulled the trigger, the front barrel of the shotgun's frozen, and you see the pellets slowly moving in with the icicle trail behind it. And I'm like, oh, this looks so good. And you kind of see like majority of the characters in it. You see the Scorpion sort of like beginner, and then you see like obviously when he gets into the costume, when he's in the costume of Scorpion, him and Sub-Zero have their fight, and their little fight segment in the trailer is sick. It's freaking dope what they do in that thing. But the one flaw in that trailer is what Scorpion says, and I respect the actor who's playing Scorpion. It's Hiroyuki Sanada. So he's the guy who was like from. He was in Avengers Endgame. He was the Yakuza boss that Hawkeye kills. He was in Last Samurai.
Oh, yeah.
So it's him. So and he was in Rush Hour 3 apparently as well. So he's playing the role of Scorpion. But the thing is, though, Scorpion's obviously famous for one line and one line only.
Get over here.
Exactly. Now, the thing is, though, as much as I respect Hiroyuki Sanada for playing the role, he says it in the trailer, and you're like, ooh.
It's not as menacing.
It's not, and you're like, and so Maximilian Dude did the review of the trailer, and he was kind of like,
I'm here.
Get over here.
So we had Dinko do the voiceover instead. Oh my god! So Maximilian Dude did a review of the trailer, so he was watching it with his chat and so forth, and he was like, "I love everything this trailer has to offer. My only critique is that there is only one man in the world who can say that line, and it should have just been him. That's it. Like even though they just voiced it over, it should have been him for that trailer." And then he pulls up Ed Boon at Comic-Con, I think it was like 2012, doing a panel for Mortal Kombat, and it's like a 30-second clip, and they're like, just say, and he says the line, obviously, "Get over here," and the crowd went nuts, and I'm like, why? That's a good point. Yeah. Civil play, you know. Onegaishimasu. Can you imagine Scorpion saying that? Onegaishimasu.
Get your ass on the naughty step.
But yeah, it was that's out in, I think it's April. I think it's out. So soon, really soon. So but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Very much looking forward to seeing to that.
See, apparently in the trailer as well, it's also shown as to how Jax loses his arms.
Yeah, it's quite.
And apparently there's quite a few, fatalities in there, and it's kind of put me off watching it.
Why?
Not because I'm not a fan of gore.
I wouldn't really call that gore.
Well, I don't know, do I? But I don't like the Saw movies or like Final Destination or anything like that because of that kind of shit.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I can understand that, but you got to take into account this is Mortal Kombat. It's first and foremost a beat 'em up, people fighting. What happens to like Jax's arms? That's just a plot advancement. That's all it really is.
Yeah, no, it just worries me as to how much actually gets shown, because obviously I've read that you actually see his arms get frozen and blown to bits, and it's just like, do I really want to be seeing that?
Yes, you do want to be seeing that. I feel like it'll be a good watch. I think you'll enjoy it.
I mean, I'll probably still watch it, but I just don't think it's also going to end up topping the love that I have for the original Mortal Kombat movie and how cheesy it was.
Dude, no doubt. I mean, I to this day love the original Mortal Kombat movie with the soundtrack. I will throw that on just randomly to be like, Mortal Kombat, and then just hear that techno beat, and I'm like, yes. Apparently, so I don't know, this is what I've heard, but I don't know which one it is, but apparently there is a song from the original Mortal Kombat in the new Mortal Kombat movie.
If it's not the main theme, I will riot.
They apparently remixed one of the songs for it, and I'm like, oh, is it the main one? Now, Maximilian Dude says it could be the main one, but I was like, oh, well, I've heard no confirmation on this. I need to find out. But I was like, oh, it looks good. Oh, it looks good. Very much looking forward to seeing it though. But
Yeah,
I'm not
if
gonna lie, it does look decent. I reckon it will people enjoy it. I don't know what people are expecting from it, but it'll be like, yep, it'll be good.
Yeah, if it's not the main theme, I am going to riot.
I mean, it'd be quite funny if that was the main three, but like, ooh. Senpai has a vamoosed for the moment. Oh, he's back.
He's abandoned us. Oh no.
Oh
back.
no.
Oh no. No, 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 no.
I mentioned this beforehand with to Senpai, but I think I should bring it up. Obviously, we were just talking about Marvel and MCU and so forth, but over the course of the weekend, there's been a whole hoo-ha thing with obviously the Justice League movie, the Schneider cut, the actor who plays Cyborg, Ray Fisher, and stuff like that, and obviously accusations thrown towards Joss Whedon and his whole his work process on working on a set. I was kind of like, okay, I mean, that's fine. Like, I obviously, like, none of us are there to see how Joss Whedon like took control of the set and stuff. But then again, he is director. He is pretty much in control of the film when there. Like when you're working at the direction of the director. Now, the thing that made me go, "Are you seriously whining about this?" is that fact that Justice League, when it released, what was it, 2017? I want to say when it released, when it came
Something
out,
like that.
yeah. Let's be fair, it wasn't the greatest movie out there. It wasn't great for the DC universe. It could have been vastly better, but people forget it was a Zack Snyder movie first, and yet people blame the reason it failed on Joss Whedon. I'm like, well, hold up. Yes, he may have stepped away from the film because obviously he had a personal tragedy at the time, but to lay the fault of Justice League not performing as well on Joss Whedon is a little bit unfair, because he picked up the slack for Schneider and so forth. And then what do we get? 4 years later, Zack Snyder gets to redo his film into a 4-hour epic. I'm like, hold up.
Mm-hmm.
How many people get a chance to redo a film when it should have been like, this is Zack Snyder Justice League movie. Your first attempt failed, and now here you have a 4-hour epic 4 years later. I was a little bit like, that's a little bit.
To be fair, there was. I honestly think over the last few years that has been the biggest movie backlash for as long as I can remember. I don't think there's been any bigger backlash about any movie that I know of.
It's the equivalent of Michael Bay taking over Schindler's List.
Oh, wow. Imagine the explosions in that film.
See, for me, I still haven't seen the original. I've not seen any DC Universe.
DCU. DC Cinematic Universe. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Welcome to my universe.
I've not seen any of those films other than Man of Steel, because Man of Steel was okay, but I had zero interest in any other movies since then.
Oh, that's fair enough. I personally enjoyed Man of Steel because in that, and it's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize, because it's always been the mythos of Superman that you never see him fully unbound, like you never see him able to do fully what he can do, because they've always portrayed that Superman, because he was raised by humans, he's always subconsciously held back this power in fear of wrecking everything or losing control.
Yeah.
In Man of Steel, you get to see what it's like if he actually if he actually had no restrictions. And then at the same time, he's facing off against a fellow Kryptonian who can do the exact same thing he is. So obviously the chaos that was in that film was bound to happen. People are like, oh, that film was rubbish. He essentially wrecked all of Metropolis. Imagine how much money it would cost to fix the city. I'm like, seriously? That's your gripe about the movie, is how much it would cost to fix Metropolis, a fictional city?
See, my biggest gripe with it was more of the fact that obviously Superman had been on Earth since being a baby, and he supposedly absorbs the power from the sun to become as powerful as he is, but then goes off against Zod, or whatever his fucking name was.
No, you're right, Zod.
Apparently he's just as powerful as Superman, despite only being there for 30 fucking minutes.
Here's the reason why. They explain it in the Man of Steel movie. They're divided by classes, Like there's like Zod is classed as a warrior, and for them he's like their best warrior. So for him, combat and stuff like that, it's easy for him to learn and attune and to master his surrounding stuff. So for it, whereas Kal-El, because he wasn't classed in that side, he's a natural birth, whereas Zod is a genetic birth. He's pre-made to be a warrior, so stuff like that for him, learning how to use abilities, adjusting to his surroundings, that's something he's genetically made to
Programmed
handle.
for.
Programmed for. Whereas Kal-El is natural birth, so he is kind of like, holy crap, I have to learn things naturally, and I'm not designed to in this way. That's why Zod was able to do it.
It still bothers me about the whole power difference, though, between like 30 odd years or however old Superman's meant to be in Man of Steel compared to 30 fucking minutes.
Yeah, no, that I can. It's a little bit of a gap.
That was my gripe with it.
He got it quickly, but I think for me another thing with Man of Steel was the fact that even though Superman was always meant to have the "I don't kill" policy, he snapped Zod's neck in the movie. I'm sorry, did I? I was like, what rating is this movie? Did I come to the right Superman film? Hold up, what's this? I'm the dude in the blue and red tights. And it was like, what is this? Man of Steel? He just snapped Zod's neck. I'm like, the funny thing was like, he was doing like, I was kind of watching that scene where Zod was eye beaming towards the human family. I was like, why don't you just put your hand over his eye? You are essentially indestructible. Just do this, or just turn his head slightly, or just like reflect the beam yourself. Just simple things like that. But it was like, no, he had to snap his neck. I'm like, okay. But yeah, like the whole thing with that leading into Justice League, the whole Ray Fisher thing, accusing Joss Whedon of treating him like trash on the set, and then Jason Momoa being like, I support Ray Fisher. I'm like, dude, you're Aquaman. You probably had the best thing happen to you in a while, but don't get me wrong, it's good that you want to support your fellow actor and so forth. But at the same time, like, if this backfires, it's not going to go well. And to be fair, everything involving Aquaman and Amber Heard and the whole Johnny Depp thing, that's not gone too well either for anything DC related, because I'm pretty sure she's getting replaced.
Has been fired.
Oh yeah, okay. She's actually gone now. Yeah.
A few days back, it was confirmed. Apparently, though, it's not because of this whole backlash about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Apparently, it was due to her not fulfilling health clauses within her contract. Apparently.
What? Right. Really?
I don't know. Maybe she wouldn't go for a fucking COVID vaccine or something. I don't fucking know.
I mean, seriously, it's just an injection. Seriously, take one every 12 weeks. Done. But yeah, that's the thing. Like their standalone movies for DC have been actually quite impressive. They've had some really good ones, like Wonder Woman, Aquaman have been probably their two strongest they've had since the Justice League, and they've been like, well, if you can do this with solos, like, how is it you can not make a unified film work, so to speak? I mean, hopefully they're hoping that the Snyder Cut will sort of like revitalize the universe. If it does, great, but I feel like they need to do a lot of work, because for one, they've got the new Batman movie coming out this year. I don't know when the Robert Pattinson one's coming out, but
yeah, I'm also really not happy with that choice either.
Is that his first one?
Robert Pattinson, yeah, that's his first Batman movie.
Okay, so I'm not that far out of touch with the DC universe. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Because Ben Affleck was like the one before. Well, he was the one for Batman v Superman. Yeah.
I think George Clooney or Val Kilmer was the last.
Oh my God, the Joel Schumacher ones.
Oh my God.
So you didn't watch the Christian Bale ones at all, the Christopher Nolan ones?
Hi. Oh yeah, no, sorry. Okay, I'll take that back. I did see those ones. I was about to boomer myself.
I just saved you from boomifying yourself.
You really did. Yeah, no, I saw those ones. I really enjoyed those ones. Yeah. But comic book wise, yeah, I like the Nolan quadrilogy, or was it a trilogy?
Trilogy.
The Nolan trilogy. I don't think of those as sort of like comic book Batman.
I could see that.
I agree on that.
I would see them as a vigilante movie.
Val Kilmer and George Clooney, they were comic book Batman.
Yeah, I mean, very true.
No, the nipples were comic book Batman.
Oh. Those suits. Oh my God, they'll probably live on in a museum today. They're like, why does Batman have nipples on this suit? They're like, it was a different time and a different era, and Me Too hadn't come out yet.
Look, he was permanently hard because I've seen Catwoman in the outfit. Okay.
Oh my God.
Meow.
Oh my word! But I mean, with DC at the moment, it's what was their last film they did? Shazam was their last one. I've never even watched it, so I don't know if that was any good.
Oh,
or
I
not.
haven't
the guy
watched
from The
Shazam either.
Office.
No, Wonder Woman 2 was the last one. That's released.
Oh
hasn't it?
yeah. Well, Wonder Woman 2,
Just
that
over
was out
Christmas.
over Christmas. I watched that. I didn't mind it, but it doesn't hold a light to number one. It doesn't hold a light to number one. There
That's
is
what
so many
everyone said,
plot holes.
apparently.
It does it. There was just some major plot holes in that film. You're like, oh, that's what you're doing. But I didn't mind it. But I'm gonna say number one was far better, far better. I feel like I don't know what it was about this film. I don't know if it was they were rushing to get a sequel out because Wonder Woman was the first solo female superhero film with a actual female lead in it that did so well, and then they were like, oh, but Captain Marvel did the same thing and it made $1 billion, but we need to now the Black Widow movie's out.
Next
When
month.
is that out? Next month?
April.
Oh, is it April? May? Okay, it's out this year then. That's coming out, and they're like, will this make $1 billion like freaking Captain Marvel did, and so forth?
No,
it's just
purely for the fact that the current climate doesn't allow it. So,
very true, very true. I feel that's the thing though, like because obviously the way things are, though, if Black Widow had come out with no COVID, I honestly reckon that would have probably been another Marvel $1 billion movie.
oh yeah, I honestly think that would have made more than Captain Marvel purely for the fact that it's Black Widow.
Yeah,
and a lot of people didn't like Captain Marvel for the fact of what's her face,
Brie Larson.
Yeah.
I liked the film.
I've still not seen that.
What,
I've
Captain
not
Marvel?
seen Captain Marvel.
Oh,
No.
okay. I mean, you should get it just for the blockbuster references, but I was like, oh, blockbuster.
Yeah. See, I'm still of the mindset that I honestly think that what's her face, the MMA wrestler, would have done a better job.
Ronda Rousey?
Ronda Rousey or
Yes.
Gina Carano?
No, Ronda Rousey.
I don't know. No, I don't.
I honestly think she might have done better.
Wrestler.
Well, she's not anymore, isn't she? She's quit there, hasn't she?
Sorry, was.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, though, you've got to have. I didn't have as big an issue as some people had with Brie Larson, but at the same time, when I look at Captain Marvel from the comics from the ones I would read, as opposed to what the film was, I'm like, I can't really see the comparison. All I saw was by the time she did Captain Marvel to the point of Endgame, I was like, you've just copied a haircut and a suit. That's it. Which apparently I found out in Endgame when she turns up in that final fight scene. That was actually her first scene for Captain Marvel.
Oh, okay.
Because her hair was obviously shorter then. Because by the time they went to do Captain Marvel, she had already grown her hair out, and they're like, right, we're just going to do the Captain Marvel origin story. And she was like, but I just filmed Endgame, which is really funny. Because there's all those like stories. But obviously now that Endgame's been out for like a couple of years, there's always been those stories about people how they turned up at the final for the first scene. Because that end fight scene was obviously the first thing they filmed. And one of the funny stories I heard was Tom Holland was trying to not be in a hole, because obviously he's one of the shortest characters on set. So every time there was a scene, he'd be like in a ditch, and he's like, "Crap!" Everyone, he's like, "There's people already looking down on him." He's like, "Now I'm even shorter in the movie." But
speaking of Mr. Holland,
oh bless him.
Yeah. That's
have you guys
Spider-Man
also
3 review trailer.
Trailer?
There's the new Spider-Man film there's a teaser trailer, but announces the film in a weird sense.
Oh, okay.
So they give the title of the new movie, but
yeah, No Way Home.
Not too far down the road or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it's No Way Home or something like that.
Yeah, it's No Way Home. Yeah. Have
Just
you guys also have you guys also heard the rumors that Mr. Holland is also going to be in Doctor Strange with Wanda?
Yeah, I already knew that. That's been confirmed, I think.
I don't know if it was, but obviously.
Peter or
Yeah.
I mean, it has to be because they have the continuity thing.
Yeah.
But obviously, for the last few months now, there's also been rumors that Mr. Maguire and what's the other Spider-Man called? Garfield. Yeah.
That was here's the thing. I heard that
apparently they're going to be in it.
They were supposed to be in Spider-Man 3, but it was supposed to be cross-dimensional. The rumor was the number 3 was meant to be cross-dimensional with the multiverse and so forth. But obviously, that's now not been confirmed. Because obviously, Tom Holland's like, "Oh, I don't know anything about that because that's not what happened." But then again, Tom Holland leaks information like a sponge. So
yeah, exactly. So I honestly don't believe him because I obviously that
I
was
honestly think I honestly think he was probably not told. So they're like, don't worry, we got nothing to worry about leaks.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking
We've
as well.
not
In all
told you, so
honesty,
you do not tell anyone else.
Exactly. We don't want you doing a Ruffalo now that Ruffalo's gone.
I'm honestly really hoping that they do because I would love a crossover between Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
I mean, to be fair, if it does happen, let's be fair, a lot of people won't be surprised because of what potentially the MC universe is going through right now. Because obviously they've done the whole multiverse thing, so to speak. Because obviously with them doing the time travel thing and so forth, so that's potentially a thing. But another rumor I heard was that Chris Evans potentially could be back as Captain America.
Yes, I have seen rumors
Yeah.
that he might reprise the role for
Yeah.
for a little bit.
Yeah, but everyone was like, he's either reprising the role for a small part, or they're like, we want him to do a fourth solo movie. And I'm like, just leave it alone. Let him do a small cameo in in a small bit where he's in the suit and so forth. But he's said that he would never say no to the role, but he would be like, he'd have to question if he and creatively if it was right for him to come back to do a fourth movie. Which, to be fair, it's true because considering how it all ended, it's not surprising they'd want to do it that way.
No, I don't think I will.
Yeah. But then they've also started work on is it Guardians 3 and Thor at the same time? They've got them. There's a screenshot of Chris Hemsworth and Chris Pratt both in their costumes, and I think they're doing Love and Thunder and Guardians 3 back to back.
Guardians 3 is quite a while away. Love and Thunder's a hell of a lot sooner as far as my knowledge goes on the timeline.
I think the reason they're doing them now is because obviously Zoe Saldanha's doing Avatar 4, 5, and 6 back to back, and they're supposed to be done by the time.
We still haven't had 2 and 3 released yet.
Apparently, they're doing 4, 5, and 6 now, and I'm like, really?
I was just doing the maths in my head.
I was like, wait, did I miss 2 and 3?
Yeah,
has COVID really got my brain that bad?
I was until I just said 4, 5, 6. I went, wait, when did 2 and 3 come out? Because apparently 2 and 3 they'd done her filming during Infinity War, but that's why she wasn't in Infinity War as much, obviously with what happened, and then and then after that, leading into Endgame, her scenes were still pretty small, but significant enough for her to play a part in the story. But apparently, she's been working straight on the Avatar movies back to back. To which I was like, oh, okay. So apparently, I think they want to do 2 and 3. Apparently, she's done the scenes for that. 4, 5, and 6 they want to get done before Guardians 3 comes out. But I think they're doing her scenes last, possibly.
Oh, okay.
Because I know
makes sense.
James Gunn's Suicide Squad, which is when's that out?
Oh
summer?
God.
I think that's out in the summer. That looks quite good though. I think that'd be quite interesting to watch.
There hasn't been any trailers for it or anything. No, I don't think there's even been a poster release yet.
There's a teaser trailer out for it because
okay.
Yeah, there's a teaser trailer for that out, and they go through all the characters, and it looks quite interesting.
I must have missed that.
Yeah, I think it was beginning of the year. I think I'd seen a trailer for it, but yeah, it looks pretty good. And apparently, John Cena, who's in the film, they're now apparently getting him. They're getting him to play a TV series based on his character.
Yeah, so he's doing a DC character, isn't he?
Yeah, he's part of the Suicide Squad. I was like, oh, okay. It's going to be interesting to see what Marvel come up with for Phase 4 anyway.
I'm still knocked.
We didn't actually say anything, is it? Did we cover it on the last one with the passing of Chadwick Boseman with Black Panther?
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, I don't think we did.
No, I mean, obviously, that was a huge thing with Marvel and losing him. And apparently, and I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently the rumor was they wanted the actress who played his sister to take over, or people hankering for it, and they wanted the sister to come in and take the mantle.
I would be more than happy with that character. I thought she was brilliant.
Yeah, sure. But the problem was though, the actress who plays her apparently got in trouble with her social media tweets not long after that was announced.
Oh.
And so they're now like, but apparently that is now because obviously of how they had it originally planned out for Phase 4. Apparently they're now planning to get that filmed and finished and released by next year, 2022. I think is what the film. I remember seeing the date for it. Okay. So I was like, I mean, that's going to be interesting. But at the same time, it's like, what are you going to do for Black Panther 2, considering the king himself is no longer around? Like
Michael B. Jordan is going to take up his role again and just steal the Black Panther powers.
Or maybe or maybe he was in an alternate verse. He was T'Challa. They may bring him in for that. Who knows? I mean, they've not said anything. So, but yeah, they've said that they're not gonna recast the roles. What they were saying. So I was like, oh, this would be interesting. But it's probably one of the biggest things that they have to figure out now.
Yeah, that is one of the bigger problems.
Was there another Black Panther film in the works before he'd passed?
They were planning it. So obviously, after the success of number 1, and number 2 was essentially inevitable, but they were going to obviously plan for phase 4, which is really weird because after obviously hearing how he passed away and so forth, I was rewatching certain films, and because he was apparently diagnosed with his condition during the filming of Black Panther 1, because obviously they went from Civil War into Black Panther, or maybe it was the other way around. But either way, he'd known about his condition since he was filming Black Panther. And every time I watched him in one of the Marvel movies, I was like, he's either getting incredibly skinny, or he's leaning up like crazy for the suit, or the suit's making him look really lean. And then obviously by the end of Endgame, I was like, he looks mad skinny. And I obviously no one really knew because he kept that what happened to him really, really, really private. And then after his passing, I was like, that makes sense because of how the story was written and how much screen time he had. It makes sense why he wasn't around as much. But it does throw a massive wrench in whatever possible crossovers and appearances they would have wanted him for the rest of phase 4. But yeah, it was a shame that he passed. I mean, I felt like he would have been like one of the 6 for the next phase of Marvel stuff to be like the leads for Avengers
most
4
definitely,
and so forth and whatnot. It's a damn shame though.
Wasn't it just last week? I think that he ended up being awarded a Golden Globe that his wife picked up.
Possibly, I know there was a film. He's got a couple of films that were obviously released post his passing, and they were all acclaimed performances and so forth. So that was cool. I mean, he's got one, so that's nice that his wife picked it up for him.
Before we wrap up, anything else that we've been watching that we're excited about and want to talk about very quickly?
Oh, if you guys aren't watching the new Superman and Lois TV show from the Berlanti universe, give it a watch. It's actually really, really good.
Is Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher in it?
We can make him appear.
That's a no. I'm a hard pass.
I don't like the look of the guy that's playing Superman at the minute.
Henry Cavill or the TV actor?
The TV actor.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I've watched the last 2 episodes and they've been quite good, so I was like, definitely worth a watch. So
give me Henry Cavill any day, but not the TV guy.
Oh, that's another thing since you brought Henry Cavill. Did you hear about the rumored leak of what the next film the next project he's apparently working on being turned into a live action?
No.
And
yes. It's another game series. Fuck, which one is it? Mass Effect, yes. Yeah. Apparently they're doing a Mass Effect movie and he's being
cast to play Shepard.
Yeah.
The funny thing is he didn't leak the script properly, but he blurred out enough so they were like, oh, you'd have to really, really squint to read what was on the corner of the script he got given because he was doing his Witcher stuff. And I was like, oh my god, could you imagine if he actually got given the script and he was like the lead for Mass Effect, the Shepherd? Not only would he have the Witcher in his back pocket, he's got Mass Effect in his pocket as well. I'll be like, dude, you can't mess it up. I mean, considering how well he did the Witcher, I'm like, dude, that's gonna be awesome. I just want to see him punch some dude out the window because he went rogue or renegade. To see the renegade thing, he's like, quick, press the button. Tour! See you later, dude, out the window.
He is, as I saw on a picture the other day, quickly becoming king of the nerds.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Obviously, he's got Geralt. He's going to have Commander Shepard if that does go ahead.
If that's true, yeah.
Yep, he's built his own PC. He does a lot of PC gaming. He plays trading card games. He watches anime and art. He's
Superman.
King of the Nuts. Yeah, and he's Superman.
And he's Superman.
He is. And he's British. Thumbs up already.
Yes. On this podcast, Duck Butter, we stand. On Duck Butter, we stand Henry Cavill.
Yeah. I mean,
Apparently we are.
I've got to admit though that him doing that Instagram video of him building the PC, that was brilliant. Him
Yes.
building the PC. I love the fact that every tech YouTuber reviewed that video afterwards. It was like Henry Cavill builds a PC. Let's see how well he does. He got it working. The only thing that they were like, oh, he put the fan upside down, but they were like, oh, that's all right. He could technically have changed that in the software, but it was like, no, he fixed it. Don't worry. It was brilliant though. And the dude is ripped. His arms.
I've had a fan upside down for a year. I don't care.
Is yours got an LED thing on the front, or is it just
Yeah.
it does? Apparently, you can change that in the software. You can flip it, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, no, I know.
you just not done it.
No, I've switched the lighting, but I know that the fan is upside down.
Oh, oh wow.
I've corrected the lighting, but I know that it's not the right way up, and it bugs me. I need to fix that soon.
Well, there you go. There's something to do after the podcast. Your homework for the next week.
Yeah, it's going to be a weekend well spent. Otherwise, thank you very much for joining us for episode 1 of the Duck Botter podcast. It's been a good conversation. We're going to carry on with this very, very soon. Don't forget to check out the Crusaders podcast, to which will be linked in the episode description. I'm also going to blank out with something on maybe the YouTube or the Spotify to show when we are talking about WandaVision if you haven't actually watched it yet. Otherwise, we're going to be back for episode 2 very, very soon. My name has been SENPIEMAN. I have been joined by Techsnologic.
See you all later.
And LancelotArcher.
Signing out. See you later.
Have a good weekend. Thank you very much for joining us. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.